Baby, when I tell you the bells are back and they are ringing, okay? They are ringing. Listen, we are here to discuss season 2 of Belle Collective, Not Model Behavior, okay? And listen, I would be on camera right now, but quite honestly, my life is in a shambles. I have got so much to do today, and my allergies are bothering me, so we still gonna get the job done, okay? Y'all just gotta work with me today. Now listen, if you are in the chatterization, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to check out our interviews with Lateshia Scott, Melody Cherie, as well as Carlos King from earlier this weekend in preparation for our season premiere of Love and Marriage Huntsville that comes on tonight at 9 p.m. on 8 p.m. on OWN. With that being said, let's go ahead and stage dive into this episode, baby. I got to give this episode a 10 out of 10. I do not know about y'all, baby, but let me tell you something. The Bells delivered last night, okay? They absolutely 110% delivered, okay? When I say delivered, I mean delivered, okay? We start the episode off. I would get into all the reasons why it's a 10, but I think it'll become evident as we go through this, okay? And if you didn't catch the episode last night, listen up, okay? Because it's about to go down. In fact, it's already going down because we are still at the sistervention with Lateshia and Aikisha going at it. Now, Lateshia is accusing Aikisha of trying to get an Oscar for over 50 years. And Aikisha tells her to stay off my IMDb pages. So Lateshia is cursing her out about offering her a seat at this table and Aikisha not being appreciative of that opportunity. Aikisha tells Lateshia that she is insecure. Then Lateshia says something about Aikisha being born into a family that doesn't want her, baby. Ooh, I knew right when I heard that comment that was going to be a moment that hit hard, okay? Lateshia then calls her an uninvited guest, okay? Now, why are we in this space that we're in? Well, Lateshia is confronting Aikisha about calling the rest of the girls ugly. And she says that it came from Tambra. Aikisha says that Tambra is lying, okay? Mind you, Tambra is seated right beside her. So then Lateshia calls Marie to get back up on the FaceTime. So Marie is on via Zoom, okay? And she is backing up Lateshia's story. But then Tambra says that this is what happened. Aikisha, when they talked on the phone, asked her after, I guess, maybe meeting with Lateshia, asked her if she couldn't find any more cute girls in Jackson to work with. Okay. So that is being received as the ugly comment. All right. So it turns out that according to Lateshia and Marie, it was Tambra that started all of this off when she came back and told them what Aikisha said, okay? So then Aikisha turns to Tambra, West Side Tam comes out, okay? And she get to banging the table saying that is what Aikisha says and she is not lying. That's what she said. And now Aikisha is backpedaling. So then Aikisha gets up out of her seat and then Tambra jumps up in her face like, what you gonna do? And what you not gonna do is this. Pointing and putting her hands all up in Aikisha's face. So Latrice has to try to get up and break it up. And Tambra's like, nah, boo, you need to stay up out of this. Aikisha know me. Aikisha know me. So Lateshia is shocked that Tambra seems to be at the center of all this. And so Gucci narrates in her confessional that Tambra obviously realized that she got caught up in the mess because she started the mess. So she tried to do the sistervention to get everybody all on the same page, but it ain't working, okay? So then they get separated and they move seats and things kind of calm down, right? So now Aikisha is sitting in Latrice's place beside Lateshia, I believe. And then we have Latrice sitting beside Tambra now. Now, Tambra says, listen, y'all, at the end of the day, I likes Aikisha. But Lateshia is like, now, girl, You didn't even want to be in the group chat with this woman, okay? And you brought her around here, all right? So then we get screenshots from a group chat without Aikisha. Now, Marie, who is on the phone, all right, via Zoom, I wonder if Jamal is there. Okay, anyway, wrong show. Anyway, so Tambra now all of a sudden does not remember any of this, although we can clearly see screenshots of the group message without the Aikisha, okay? Oh, Tambra. Now she is regretting saying anything. This is what I think happened based on what I could see. Aikisha made those comments may have allegedly made some kind of comments to Tambra that Tambra interpreted as shade and then went back and told Marie and Lateshia. Now it's all coming out because the girls are letting the information out, because we will later find out that Aikisha was told about Marie's party by Josh, who we questioned last week. We was like, who was Josh? Well, Josh is apparently Aikisha's makeup artist, okay? But we'll get to that in a second. It does kind of feel to me like Tambra, kind of stirred up some mess, okay? It may have been unintentional, but it was definitely some mess that was stirred up, all right? So then the conversation turns to Latrice asking about what's going on with Tambra and Greedy, okay? Apparently Marie or somebody saw Tambra out with another guy, so they kind of wondering like, girl, what's up? So Tambra says this other guy is just a friend. So Lateshia ends up apologizing to Aikisha for going off of what Tambra said. But Aikisha, she accepts it, but now she feels betrayed by Tambra. So then Latrice is giving Tambra the side eye as well, because she feels like Tambra kind of started the mess, and she feels like there is something off between Tambra and Greedy. All right, so now we finally get into this scene of Soguchi, all right? She is meeting up with Latrice. They're both wearing yellow. She's helping Latrice find a new commercial building. But the issue with the issue with this particular building is that it's a historic building, so really can't that much be modified. And Latrice really wants to stay closer to where she has her shop at now, because she wants to continue to service a specific community, and she wants it to be where she wants it to be, okay? So they ultimately decide to keep looking. They sort of talk about a little bit about Latrice being afraid to have kids, and we'll see more of that in the next episode. So Aikisha comes into the house from working on Ferris Street. She got some smokes or something with her, and some pig ears, okay? A pig-eared sandwich or something like that. The husband Willie tastes it. He don't like it. He ready to go back to the streets of New York and get some pizza from off the streets, okay? He don't want these smokes and pig feet and pig ears and all that kind of stuff like that. Anyway, he recaps the fishing trip and the Glen rumors and all that kind of stuff like that. She recaps the sister vention, and how she talks about she found out from Josh, her makeup artist, about Marie's party that she was not invited to, and how they was all talking about her at Marie's party. So she was really hurt also too. And I knew this was going to strike a nerve when Lateshia says that she was born into a family that did not want her. And it resonates so hard because she grew up without her birth mother. Her aunt took her in and raised her. We do learn that. So that really kind of hit. And now she don't even want to work with Lateshia on the Ferris Street project no more, because she feels like, if you could go that low to hurt me, then I don't want to work with you. Pretty much. Basically, that's what she's saying. And her husband not here for any of these shenanigans either. So we see Tambra at the radio station. She's working on the station's annual fashion show. Melanie, the publicist, stops by and they recap the sister vention. And I was thinking to myself that Melanie makes a good friend to this show. She also says that, they get into this whole situation about how the word ugly was apparently not used in conversation between Tambra and Aikisha, and that was Lateshia's interpretation of what Tambra told her. But it still remains that there might have been something said about the attractiveness of the ladies. That's what we still need to get into. What was said, because whether you said the word ugly or whether you said some pretty girls, I mean, the fact remains, if you're saying that someone is not pretty, the only other thing left to assume is that you mean that they are ugly. Okay? I mean, because we still that's a point that's still hanging and dangling in the air that I ain't forgot about. So we need to address whether or not that was actually said or not. Okay? So it turns out that Tambra now regrets the altercation with Aikisha. But I'm wondering to myself, do you regret it enough to add her to the group chat? I mean, that's the question. I mean, how much do you regret it? Let's really show some remorse, okay? I mean, are you going to add her to the group chat now? Are you going to be in the group chat if she come into the group chat? Or you going to leave the group chat? Y'all know how when you look at a group chat and they say somebody left, you be like... Anyway, we ain't got time to talk about that right now because Tambra wants Melanie to walk the runway. And we learned that Melanie hasn't been on a runway since she was Miss Atlanta 2005. We also learned that Soguchi is going to walk. In my opinion, I mean, I feel like Melanie would be a naturally great choice for a 7th Belle should they choose to go the route. I mean, we don't know whether or not Melanie is married or single or not. But what we do know is Melanie has a great personality, okay? So it could be one of those situations where she has a great personality on the side, but not for a full time. We just don't know. But what we do know is that at least everybody in the circle seems to like Melanie and have some type of ties with her. So it kind of would make sense if she was added to the show. Meanwhile, over at Soguchi's house, we are finally getting our Soguchi scene, and we get it with both of Soguchi's and JJ's daughters. Now, for the purposes of this videos, I'm going to basically refer to D, who is Soguchi's biological daughter, as Soguchi's daughter. I'm going to refer to the other girls, and I cannot remember all of their names, as JJ's daughters, though I recognize fully that they are their stepchildren all together. It's just for the purposes of this recap, I need to differentiate them because it makes a big difference, okay? So D, who is Soguchi's biological daughter, wants to talk because apparently there's some tension. Here's what's basically going on. D, Soguchi's daughter, is expecting. And so she's living with JJ and Gucci right now. The other 3 girls, I guess, either are out and about in the world or, you know, live nearby or at college or something like that. Anyway, apparently D has felt shunned by the other girls because I guess when they all used to when they was growing up, you know, this has been 10 years of buildup now. When they was growing up and they were like showered together or something like that, they would tell her that she couldn't use the soap because she was dirty. And she wondered if it was because she was darker skinned than JJ's very fair skinned daughters. Now, in my opinion, I don't know. I guess it's just I have a harder time differentiating, you know, who is light skin, brown skin, high yellow, chocolate, because the shades of melanin are so plentiful and bountiful. It's hard for me to distinguish sometimes, you know, what one person considers light skin and what another person considers light skin, because to me, they was all light skin. But I mean, I don't know. That's just me. Again, I'm colorblind. But the fact remains that I guess because Soguchi's daughter is slightly darker, then maybe she felt like, you know, there was differentiation in how she was being treated by the girls because they are all of the higher yellow complexion. I mean, I hate to call it that, but I mean, that's essentially what it is. They're just lighter skin. So anyway, They tell her that it's all in her head. Now, it does seem to be that there was some level of, because the girl says she felt bullied. There does seem to be some level of distance between the three sisters on JJ's side and then Soguchi's daughter. There is something there. Now, they are telling her that it's all in her head, but for some reason, I don't believe that it's all in her head. I believe that they may not have realized, or they could have realized, that they were treating her differently. But the problem is that for 10 years, Dee did nothing about it except grow more distant from them, which created an even bigger divide. Now, I would challenge normally that Dee has the onus of being the one with the problem. I always feel like the person with the problem needs to be the person that says something about it, right? But because they were so young and still in developmental ages, I can't say that here because a young person may not recognize that yet. They may not even recognize what they're feeling yet. So to me, this conversation was very, very interesting. And I do think that some family counseling should probably be involved in this whole situation. Okay. So anyway, they table this conversation because it's not going to get solved in this one setting, right? And they got to close out the scene. It's the day of the Rock the Runway fashion event, and Tambra and Gary with the T are hosting. Okay. Hey, Gary, we see you. Everybody's there. Lateshia and Glenn show up together, although she is quick to let us know that she is not with this man. Aikisha has arrived, but she is not here to support Tambra. She is just here for the city of Jackson, and that's it, okay? We finally get Melanie with all that body, walking the runway, and I was like, yes, Melanie. See, to me, she's so interesting. Like, I just want to know more about her. But maybe that's the intent there. And then maybe one day they'll make her full time. I don't know. But anyway, so Gucci walks the runway, and there is JJ hopping up on the stage, tossing a couple of dollar bills out. Let me say this. To me, I understand. Your wife she is fine as wine. I get it. I get you, bro. I get you. And meeting her in person, beautiful, gorgeous, banging body, in shape, all of that. You can't, listen, the woman is bad. But, if you really want to make a splash with this, I'm going to need you to bring a money gun, okay? Show me what you got, all right? These couple of dollars here and there that you might throw at the strip club ain't giving me what is supposed to be given on TV. I need you to come out with the money gun if you really want to turn it up, because then you get to the end of the runway and all you got is $3 to throw up, bro. Like that, you ain't making it rain. You making it drizzle. Okay. So anyway, as they close out the show, Damon arrives with flowers. Afterwards, then everybody is out having drinks. Greedy, aka Damon, is meeting up with the guys. And, he has to clarify to Lateshia that he no longer goes by Greedy. It's just Damon now, okay? So Lateshia pulls him to the side to ask him about what Tysha said about them having an emotional connection. He says, well, I also have an emotional connection with the Lord, okay? Anyway, he feels protective of Tambra, and he says that whatever happened in 2014, so why is she bringing this up now? Or to something to that effect. So I could have swore last week he said that they ain't never been nothing but friends. But now there was something maybe in 2014. I'm trying to figure that out, because that seems a little inconsistent with what we were told last week, unless we're missing some bits and pieces of the story. Regardless, as the camera flashes to Tambra as she's taking photos, we learn that she has armed security with her as she's taking photos, which I thought was very interesting. So then, Gucci and Latrice make their way over as Damon is telling Lateshia and the rest of the girls to leave Tambra out of whatever is going on. So Tambra then rolls over to see what's happening, because here's the thing. When you filming a scene and you got 3 cameras focused on a group and not you, you need to go on over and see what's going on. All right. You got to go over and see what's going on. That's why you always see people running up to see and be in the shot, because you see the 3 cameras are usually focused on what's happening in this one particular scene. And that's the scene of importance right now. So that's where you need to be. OK, so anyway, when Tambra arrives, as Damon is saying that, he's it looks like he's getting a little crunk. But then next thing you know, armed security rolls up and escorts them away. And Damon is looking kind of surprised. I cannot read Tambra's expression because she has a face mask on. But the ladies are left to wonder, like, did she hire security to take her away from us? Like, to separate us from her, from asking her any questions, from anybody confronting her? I mean, why is armed security here? Why is Giselle's security down in Jackson, Mississippi, whisking Tambra and Damon off in the middle of a scene? It was so crazy. So my wonder was, did production send security over because they felt like it was like Damon was about to get heated with the ladies? Or did Tambra's security, who she had maybe... See, a couple of things could have been happening. If Tambra's hosting an event, there is sometimes in people's riders, and that's the thing that you might give in a contract that says, this is what I need in order to facilitate this event. Sometimes security could be one of those things that's in her rider. So I don't necessarily know if that's the case, but whatever the case was, security was there on that day to get them out of there. And it did seem kind of out of the blue. So I can understand why the ladies were wondering. And it just seemed like right at that moment, it was like, things that make you go, So that's our review for Belle Collective, Season 2, Episode 7, Not Model Behavior. Let me know what you guys thought in the chat down below.